Hello, everybody. Welcome to the No BS Zone. Let me go ahead and request my girl Brooke. How's everybody doing? We started a little late today because we've been running around like chickens with our heads cut off, but we're about to get it on right now. So just give me 1 minute, and we'll be with you. So let me just put some music on so we can get this popping. Let's do it. All the stars are ocean. All the You see, this time I can see you.
I know, girl. I'm in like a little worker thing. I feel like I'm in a phone booth.
Where are you at a co-worker's place or
Yeah,
something?
it's called uh, Maker's Gym. So they
Oh,
do content. There's podcasts and studios upstairs and little worker spaces. And then I'm with a few people here, and they have a room. And I'm like trying to get in here from lunch. I'm like, I need like a quiet little booth, but the lighting's kind of like weird, and my hair's being weird, but it's okay. It's Texas.
nice.
You look
Oh,
great.
my God, girl, shut up. You look fabulous like always. I am loving your
Oh.
hair and everything. So is this place kind of like where we went when we were in Texas, that co-working spot?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
nice.
like a WeWork thing, but yeah, but it's
Yeah.
super cool. What I like about it is it's kind of hip hop and sports themed. Like our room yesterday was Biggie, so it has
Wow.
pillows like it was all a dream, and it had like the hip
Hey.
hop artists, and it had pictures of Biggie on the wall. And then there's a Maya Angelou room, and it has her poem on the wall. And I think today
Wow.
we're in the David Bowie room, so yeah, pretty
Nice.
cool.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, so inspirational. Awesome. Well, hi everybody again. Welcome to the No BS Zone with Brooke and Shirley, when we dish out tips and tricks on business, mindset, and wealth creation through real estate. So today we are going to pick back up from last week. We were talking about women and investing, right? And how important it is for women nowadays to position themselves correctly to start building wealth for their retirement, right? So we provided you all with some statistics, eye-opening statistics last week to include um, uh, not an inventory, but an interview with the Elevest CEO, Sarah. I can't remember her last name, but she had said that we are about to come across the great wealth transfer, meaning that baby boomers from their generation that have stocked up on wealth, right? They've been the hard workers. They have money there. A lot of the men are passing away, and statistically, women live 6 to 8 years longer than men. So what are we going to do with that money when we inherit that money, right? We need to be smart about how we're properly investing our money. And so today, me and Brooke are going to talk about why one of the ways of investing, right? And for us, our favorite is
Real
real
estate.
estate, right, Brooke?
Yes. And so in the what we really want to try to focus on today is how real estate, not only is it a good hedge against inflation, but it also helps you put money away for retirement. So we were reading an article, and it was showing women's fears, and one of their top fears was not having enough money in retirement, among other things, and being concerned that their money's not going far in an inflationary environment.
Yes.
And so, and I'll let her cover some of the points as well. But for my experience, how it has helped me is the fact that you're getting additional money coming in aside from the fact that your employer may be giving job cuts or maybe they're demoting people, as that was happening in my previous role, right? I had a very massive pay cut, and then they're offering positions at a lower level. And there's so many positions out there now that they want a bachelor's and a doctorate, but they want to pay you 65K a year, and it's just not cool. Where my investments I have in real estate, specifically multifamily and triple net, I have a couple startup investments. I get additional money every month and quarter that helps supplement, I don't currently have a W-2, but when I did, but as well as my life in general with the high skyrocketing costs that we're all experiencing. So for those of you that are concerned with, your money and savings getting 0.01% or something crazy, real estate is also going to help you for retirement with appreciation, right? When you refi or sell that asset, you're getting on average 6 figures, nearly double your money within 3 to 5 years, tax free, by the way. And you have the ability to compound that wealth while simultaneously wiping out your tax bill, you guys. So what I would love Shirley to do is also share how has real estate impacted her, because her hands are in a few different sides of real estate. How has it helped her plan for her retirement, and how do you feel your investments in real estate are helping you pledge against inflation?
Yeah, the hedge against inflation for
Hedge. I said
sure. I mean,
pledge.
no, it's all good. We all know what you
Hedge.
mean. But nowadays, and I'm sure that you might feel a less burden or a less impact on income because you've moved from
California to
California
Texas.
to Texas. So I understand that living in California, one of the most expensive states there are next to New York, I mean, definitely can understand. But for me, what it's just like what Brooke said, what has helped me with my real estate journey is that I get the cash flow, right? Cash flow is king. I rent out my place in North Carolina, which, yes, is a single family, but guess what? That one single family enabled me to make several moves, y'all. And I talk about them every time I go on stage or if I'm mentoring someone. It really lends me to tap my hands into assets and opportunities that I never even thought about in my life, right? And that small home enabled me to get into two multifamily deals, right? That I got into it last year and the year prior to that, and I am definitely seeing cash flow coming into my account on a quarterly basis. A lot of people would say, well, why should I invest in real estate if I have my money in this account and it's giving me all the same, or whatever. And it's all about the other amenities that Brooks spoke about, right? The tax benefits that you get, right? The hedge against inflation, right? Because we know with high costs right now, everything is going up. So when you're a landlord, right, we can, you have to raise the rent, right? I mean, everything goes up. You know what I'm saying? So, but as a real estate investor, you're not going to lose money there, right? Because rents are going up and we're kind of living in a renter's environment nowadays. But it's also the appreciation, right? When you are buying a property, automatically, once you do your capex, right? You put any amenities or any fixings into that to enhance the appearance and enhance, the experience of the tenant. Your property automatically goes up in value, right? And that's not only with multifamily, but even apartment complex. For example, my Airbnb, it's still into I think the second phase of construction. It's not going to be ready until the summer of 2025, but it has gone almost up in value, y'all. Like almost up in value. It's insane. So it's not even ready yet. And it already went almost double in value from when I bought it. So I'm doing the numbers And understanding that if, looking at Airbnbs in the area, doing my research, doing my analytics with my numbers, I know that I'm going to get good people that are going to want to spend time in front of the beach in a great environment, enjoying the paradise life, and they're going to pay for that experience. And then I also know that through the value that is gaining, if I do decide to sell, I am going to get a good return on my investment. So I'm looking long term. Remember when we talk about that women are futuristic? Like, I'm looking at and like our friend Julie Roy says, have the end in mind, right? What are your plans after 3 to 5 years, right? Some people say, well, I want to keep it. Some people say, well, I want to keep it for a little bit, get the cash flow, sell it, get the money, reinvest. Because that's
Right.
what you want to do. You want to reinvest. It's like, your money is making babies, and that's how you need to look at it. You gotta
Yeah.
make babies. You're gonna get a steady income stream. It's called mailbox money, right? How you get with your triple net, because that's another one that I would love for us to talk about, just the different types of investments, right? And that one you get on a monthly basis, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And definitely, of course, nowadays, hedge against inflation, the tax benefits, and the depreciation that you can also put in there, right? The government allows you to depreciate a certain amount, and it's a great amount, right? A great amount on either, your multifamily, right? For the most part, you get to do the depreciation. You get to also do a cash out refi if you need it, and if the rates at the time are, respectable, right? So for me and my experience at the time, I had to hurry up, make quick decisions. That's another characteristics that you need to have as a business owner, thinking ahead, is that business owners and entrepreneurs make quick decisions. So at the time, as rates were going up, I needed to make a decision. Am I in or am I out in the game of real estate? Right. And so I decided to do a cash out refi for my home, and then I was able to get it at a good rate before it started skyrocketing. I still have a manageable mortgage that the people that live in the house pay for me, and I'm still getting a good cash flow on it, right? And so those are the different amenities that you get definitely from investing in real estate.
No, I love it 110%. And I know I say that about 110% all the time. I always say that's kind of like my phrase, but that's because there's not many things in real estate I don't like. So, one thing that I want to also add that a lot of people aren't aware, for example, triple net, we had 50K in that one. And my K1, which is what allows you to wipe out taxes, was almost 8 grand. And that was
Wow.
a new build. And big shout out again to Julie Roy, because I was not expecting that big of a loss off of wiping out
Wow.
my taxes.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap. I was thinking maybe a few grand because it is a new build. So that was huge. So triple net does, even though it is a cash flow play, it will wipe out taxes, which I was thoroughly impressed with the value. Two, one thing that Shirley touched on that needs to be amplified to the millionth power, she gets her refi, her cash outs, her money, and she reinvests that to
Mm,
compound her wealth.
yes.
Too often, society, I know we're in a capitalist society, but then people feel pressured to keep up with the Joneses. And y'all are buying $100,000 cars, living at your mama's house, trying to impress people that don't even probably like your ass anyway,
Hello.
you know?
Hello.
And so you guys have to make sure that a percentage of this is gold, because let's keep it real, you guys. In the 401k, that is the stock market. And the
No.
stock market is up and down and up and down, okay? Where the real estate assets, you have more stability and more control. Yes, it may go up and down. Rents are kind of flatlining a little bit because of inflation the way it is and people getting reductions on their jobs. However, the money you do get, I don't care if it's $100. I don't give a crap if it's $100 million. A percentage, 20, 30%, whatever it may be, needs to get reinvested invested into some form of real estate. So when it does refi or sell in 3 to 5 years, give or take, then you're getting double figures, triple figures, tax free. Put that money back into real estate and continue to compound. And then it's also wiping out taxes.
Yeah,
So don't get mad at the wealthy for not knowing what you don't know, because that was me. I'm like, man, that's such crap. I'm here busting my ass in the corporate world. I was, and making six figures doing all of these things. And you guys are taking 55% of my check. And that was when I was in California.
that's
I'm like,
crazy.
you have all these one percenters not paying taxes. And what I didn't realize is that the tax code literally tells you how to avoid to pay taxes. Be an
Yes,
investor, be a business owner. And those, I just realized I was covering the speaker, so I sounded muddled, my bad. Um, and those people that have W-2s and are working for other people, you're at the highest tax bracket.
for
If you're an
sure.
investor and give back to the community, you're barely paying taxes. You have a business and you're
Absolutely.
employing people, barely paying taxes. So this
Absolutely.
is like a
Because
triple threat, if
yeah,
not more,
yeah, and I'm telling you, like, the tax code was made for entrepreneurs. It's just that
correct.
people get a little intimidated because some of the terms and terminology are a little bit confusing. But if you take the time to understand it, it's going to benefit you a lot. Even though, I'm a W-2 worker and I am one of the ones that are in the high scale. And that's why I'm thoroughly working on my business and really taking serious the money that I'm making to reinvest. To reinvest. For me, tangible assets that I can see, touch, feel gives me a sense of security. Whereas if I have my money in the stock market, it's very volatile, right? And so
Right.
I I I'm not going to say that I made a mistake a couple years ago, but being new and wet behind the ears, I went ahead and invested in one of those crowdfunding apps or whatever, right? And that has been over what, 4 years, and is actually losing money. And now I'm at a point where it's like, well, if I take it out, they're probably gonna penalize me, and then I'm already losing my money, so I'm probably gonna lose more than half of what I invested on. And so I'm kind of like in this cat and mouse game where I'm now waiting for things to calm down on the market, right? And we know that's going to be a little bit of time before we get there to try to break even when I decide to get it out. And I don't want to live like that. Like,
So
you know what I'm saying? I don't want to live in volatility. I want to be able to control my money, educate myself so that I can better control my money. I have another stat here that comes from a site called Investor Goddess that it says that women are 50% of the population, but less than 30% invest in real estate, right? Out of fear, lack of education, lack of mentorship, trust issues, right? We have here 38% of women have invested less than $2,000, whereas men invest more than 50K.
it's because we don't know what we don't know. And we've talked about this on previous lives, you guys. And women are taught how to manage the household expenses. We are taught how to be perfect, how to be the perfect mom, how to be the perfect wife, pop out a kid and look fabulous like a supermodel in 6 months, and our Lululemons and all of the things, and attract a man and do all that. And we're not taught how to invest and grow our wealth and how to keep that stable and make financially educated decisions on how to leave a legacy for our kids or our grandkids. However, that's why me and Shirley show up. And that's why we take everything that we had to pay for to learn. And we know not everybody has access to that. So that's why we share this. Because as women, we are just told to kind of like, okay, rely on a man. I know the world has been changing or whatever, and there's a lot more women in power, but women have to take the reins. We have to listen to the podcast, follow pages like Ella Bess and Crack the Wealth Code and mine and Shirley's, where we're always sharing what we're doing financially, personally, spiritually, professionally, the whole 9 yards. That way you see there are women out there that are giving this out for free.
Yeah,
Do not rely on the government. Do not rely on a man. Don't rely on yourself and
yeah,
bring a man or bring the government in to complement what you already have control of. Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
definitely show up and even go to the events. And we've talked to this,
Yeah.
that's our passion. And that's really what brought me and Shirley together is that we need more women to take control of their money. But women would rather talk about makeup and sex and buying a house and maybe, oh my God, do I look fat in this? Other than, damn, how do I make my dollar turn into $5? And we need to
Exactly.
get better at that because men talk about it on
All
the
the
golf
time.
course.
Shamelessly. So why
Yes.
aren't we? And Brooke is right when she says, show up, ladies. Take control of your future. Let me tell you, times have changed so much. You're not there to rely on a guy. And let me tell you, relationships nowadays, what's the percentage of divorces in the
Like
United
I want
States?
to say it's like 62% or something. And what one of them
Exactly.
is infidelity and money. And I think
There you
communication
go.
was another one.
Exactly. So why would you want to stay in a relationship that you're not happy about or in a state of disarray and uncertainty? If you got divorced or whatnot or break off with someone, you don't have to be like that. You really don't. And things that sound and look monumental are really not when you get together with the right people. And that's why me and Brooke are so passionate about these things, because we were at a point where we thought these things are monumentally, difficult or whatnot. But once we started showing up is the first thing, right? Don't second guess. If you're second guessing, it's because you're not educating yourself or you're probably not connecting with the right people. We started showing up at events. We started showing up at Zoom. We started showing up at webinars. This is not taxing. It's time consuming, but I'd rather take the time to educate myself so that I can be fully independent if anything would arise, so that I can take care of myself and my loved ones.
And I love that you spoke about being in a relationship that, because that's really what sparked, like when we have a book project, and that was one of my first chapters, was the story of when I thought I had my finances together. And I was in the middle of a divorce and I had my daughters with me at Target. And God, y'all, I think it was less than $70. And I got declined at Target with my kids with a line of people behind me. And it was eye opening because I thought I had my money together and I stayed in the relationship knowing I didn't think we were in love anymore and thinking, you know what, it's okay. Two incomes are better than one. And the bottom line, I couldn't financially afford to leave. I couldn't.
Yeah.
And it was eye opening. And then to get declined at freaking Target from all of these people
That's
when
what
my kids were
I was gonna
little.
say. You have that story that you were at the line at Target and you had somebody else that was so generous had to pay
Yes.
for your stuff, but you
I
didn't
wish
want
I
to see
could
yourself
see
in that.
her again.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you don't want to see
No.
yourself in that situation. I mean, bless her heart for doing that, but I'm sure you felt some type of way, like, oh my
I
God,
was
like I need to get my
embarrassed.
together.
I was
Yes.
humiliated because I thought I had my money together. And I think my daughters were like 3 months old, and the one was like 3 months old, and one was like 4 years old, give or take. And it was all just regular necessities. And to get declined at Target, going through a divorce at that time, it was devastating. I was angry. I was embarrassed. And then, needless to say, I stepped up my game at work too, because I was always in sales. And I started making more money. And then I was able to afford to get my own place.
I
And I told myself I won't
love
go back
it.
to that.
Absolutely. And you haven't, and you've been thriving ever since. Look, guys and gals, nothing in life that's good comes for free or comes easy. There's
Right.
gonna be sacrifices, and it's so easy to just stay in the status quo or stay where you feel comfortable because you don't want to do the work of educating yourself. We're at a time now that women need to take the lead. Like, we
Right.
are leaders. Like, be a leader of your family. Don't be afraid that if you're even contemplating on understanding real estate and understanding the benefits of it, right? We talked about the steady income stream. We talked about the appreciation of a property. We talk about that it's a hedge against inflation. We talk about the leverage that you can do, like I did with the cash out refi. That was a leverage, right? That is a tactic. We talked about the tax benefits, the
Right.
diversification. We always talk about diversifying, right? And we diversify even within real estate, right? Because you can
Yes.
have a fix and flip, you can have multifamily, you can have triple net, you can have Airbnbs. There's a plethora, right? And then equity build, right? A lot of people are sitting on mad money
Honey.
because they have equity on their homes and they don't know how
Right.
to leverage that, right? We talk about the passive income potential and what Brooke said about the K1s, that it was $8,000. That wiped off her passive income, let me tell
Right.
y'all. Like,
Big
she
time.
is not going to pay no money to the government on her passive income
No.
because that's her money. And that's how we need to think. We talked about forced appreciation when, when you invest in a multifamily, right? You're part owner, right? So you know that we're going to go in, we're going to enhance the property. We're going to enhance the tenant's experience, right? Because they live there, they pay rent, right? 9 times out of 10, they cannot afford a mortgage nowadays. So we're living in a renter's nation. So think about that, guys. Yes, there's different percentage of what you can make, but think about it like this. When you invest in the stock market, whatever you make, those dividends that you make, you're going to pay taxes on it. Whereas
Right.
in real estate, you are not. So think about it that way. And if you want to, and then of course, long-term stability, right, is a tangible asset that you can feel, touch, and see, and it gives you a sense of security, whereas the market is very volatile, right? Nowadays, with wars going on, proxy wars going on overseas, we're coming on an election year that's also going to, I know you open your eyes because I know you got things to say, girl, so say it. It's going to affect it.
No. It's you guys because I was on the phone with an investor earlier today, and they're like, "I'm not doing any investing anymore the rest of this year until I find out what is going on with the election." Stop. Yes, the election is crazy, you guys. We don't know what's going to happen. It's like this every 4 years, y'all. Don't act
Yes,
brand new. The best time to invest is now. What's the saying? The best time to plant a tree was like 20 years ago, right? And now
absolutely.
somebody today is just invest. I know things are crazy right now. Even if it's going to wefunder.com and there's some startups you're passionate about, put your money somewhere. But when you're doing a startup, you're not getting all the tax benefits from real estate, okay?
Yeah,
Start showing up to the meetups. DM me, DM Shirley, and say, "Hey, I'm in this situation. Don't just say, hey, I just want to invest." Okay, well, what do you want? Cash flow? Do you know wipe out taxes? Because real estate's not a one size fits all.
no,
Triple net is phenomenal for cash flow. Multifamily is fabulous to wipe out taxes because most people go for value adds, which are usually B
right.
or C properties, which have a stabilization of
Hmm.
18 to 24 months. So you're not getting cash flow right away.
Yeah,
So when that stabilizes, and then you're getting double figures, if not more, in 3 to 5 years. So start putting your money in now because real estate is the only vehicle that has shown, regardless of the ups and downs, people profit and they make money. They wipe out taxes. They're getting tax free wealth. It is
yes,
legal.
it
So
is
learn it
totally
and
legal.
take action.
Absolutely. But and that's one of the things, like, if you want to know more, hit us up. Like, that's why we have our program. That's why we also have our goodies that we want to provide you. We've made several ebooks
Yes.
on how to make the most out of your money and how to start thinking. I think Brooke created one for, it's like multifamily
Correct.
101, right?
Mm-hmm.
So hit us up. We're gifting this to
Right.
y'all, at least for you to read and open up your minds to possibilities, right? And then you can schedule a call with
Yes.
us. We have our Calendly on our IG pages as well as the Crack the Wealth Code page. We can have a simple strategy session and we can just walk the dog for you, right? This is a conversation. This is, it's like Brooke said, Multifamily and investing in real estate is not a one size fits all. It's
Right.
a conversation that you need to have about your goals, what you're trying to achieve, and what you're trying to get out of it. And there's different ways. That's why I love real estate, because I'm a creative and I love options, and real estate gives me that, right? Another bonus that we have, and Brooke is the project manager for that, and she's been doing phenomenal with the Rewire brand. Real Women in
Thank
Real
you.
Estate, y'all. Let me tell you, this book right here, Real Women in Real Estate, which all of these beautiful ladies wrote, have a plethora of golden nuggets. I mean, this is volume two. This is volume one. If you want that from us, DM us, because I'm telling you, the stories that you're going to read here are very impactful and life changing. So if you want to be inspired, and it's made for women. I mean, of course, we love our men, and they
Of
are a
course we
source of support, and
do.
they support us in this. But if you are a woman trying to gather a perspective from another woman that is at another level that you want to be, hit us up for these books. Let me tell you, and
Yes.
for the ebooks, and we'll make it happen, right? So
And make
I think we're
sure you
coming
say
up
you've
on the
heard it
time.
from Crack the Wealth Code, right?
Yes,
That way we know the impact that we're making and we know like the best channels of education to use. So we appreciate y'all. Any final words, Miss
I was gonna
Baez?
leave it. I was gonna leave it to you, girl.
You know, my final words, ladies and men, I see some phenomenal guys on here. Just invest. It doesn't have to be with us. It can be with anybody who resonates with you, that lands with you. Start learning and then take action. Show up and absorb, because you guys really believe me. I know the first time I invested, it was the scariest thing I ever did, because I took all the money out of my 401k and then I was using all of my commissions from corporate, and I only was living off of the base
Mm,
because I was so serious about it. But you get addicted when you start seeing that first disbursement come to you, and then that K1, that tax document that then you submit to your CPA, like, okay, and they say, oh, your bill went, well, for me personally, oh, your bill went from like 15 grand that you owe to, oh, you only owe 2 grand or something, right? So
yes,
just take action, and please don't be afraid to reach out and know that you can do it, because if we can do it, y'all can do it,
you
and
can
we
do
are
it.
just like you. We are
Right.
started from no knowledge, and here we
That's
are
right.
trying to spread the wealth. Free
For
knowledge. Take
sure.
action.
Bring it on and show up. Bring it
Yeah.
on and show up.
Right.
Thank you everybody for showing up and being in this space with us today. Thank you
Yes.
for showing up at the No BS Zone with Brooke and Shirley, where we dish out tips and tricks on business mindset and wealth creation through real estate. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. See y'all. Bye, girl.
Hasta luego. Bye.